Astana Expo 2017 is a landmark event for Kazakhstan and is one of the most significant opportunities for the young republic to be seen on the global stage. Expo 2017 will bring over 100 countries together to find joint sustainable development solutions. The topic of the World's Fair, Future Energy, is urgent and critical for today's global community. We will interview the Expo National Commissioners and find out what the participants are preparing for this year's special Universal Exposition. Stay with us to learn more about the most fascinating and state-of-the-art smart movement technologies showcased this summer at Expo 2017. Switzerland, a land of iconic snow-capped mountains and evergreen forests, is often at the top of everyone's list of places to visit. This summer, many Kazakhstan's residents will be able to get a glimpse of the beautiful country without having to leave Astana. Switzerland will have a national pavilion at Expo 2017. We spoke with the Swiss National Expo Commissioner Joly to see what Switzerland is preparing for the World's Fair, focusing on sustainable energy, and what the Swiss Pavilion is going to be about. The Swiss National Pavilion will be located in Block C1-2-5. Total area 560.5 square meters. The permitted exhibition area 460 square meters. The Swiss Next Laboratory area 100 square meters. The pavilion will be located next to the Pavilion of Austria, Switzerland's all-time neighbor.
The title might seem a bit wild to you. We have chosen the title of the pavilion to be Flower Power. We will invite the visitors into a beautiful Swiss landscape. There are trees, there are colors, there are plants, there are birds, a lot of colors. But the colors and the flowers in the trees actually only start to bloom once the visitor interacts with the content of the Swiss Pavilion, once he engages, once he learns, once she does something with the content that has been communicated. So it's a very poetic pavilion somehow, but then talking about hard facts.
Joly has extensive experience in organizing large international events. He was responsible for the Swiss Pavilion at the World Expos in Zaragoza and Shanghai. He then served as the director of the House of Switzerland at the 2012 London Olympics and the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. He was also the director of the Swiss Pavilion at Expo 2015 in Milan. Now he's working on making sure the Swiss Pavilion at Expo 2017 is as successful as all the previous ones.
It's a medium-sized pavilion, I would say. We have gone for the size of 560 square meters. We add 100 square meters through a mezzanine floor, so we have a total area of 660 square meters. 460 square meters are dedicated to the exhibition, which is open to the public. Then we have on the ground floor another 100 square meters, where we have the Swiss Next Lab.
The Swiss Pavilion will be located in the C1.2 block next to the Pavilion of Austria, an all-time neighbor of Switzerland. Swiss Next is a network of science and technology outposts aiming at connecting Switzerland with the world's innovative hubs. There are currently 6 Swiss Next branches located in Boston, San Francisco, Singapore, Shanghai, Bangalore, and Rio de Janeiro. The ambassador of Switzerland to Kazakhstan, Urs Schmidt, believes the Swiss Next Lab will be the highlight of the pavilion.
A very important part of the site of the Swiss Pavilion is this so-called science lab, is this space that we are operating within the Swiss Pavilion, where we are bringing together scientists and researchers and startups from Switzerland with researchers and scientists from Kazakhstan. And we have already started in developing those contacts and relationships, so that during the Expo we will have a number of events.
The lab will serve as a location for meetings, roundtables, and workshops. Kazakhstan students and professors will be invited to interact with Swiss counterparts. The lab will also be partially open to the public.
Here actually you see how the pavilion will look like when only a few visitors are inside. When they come in, it will be gray. There will be these trees with hanging leaves, you don't really know what it is. But once they start visiting these individual houses, where we confront them with our content, where we teach them something, once they start to engage, actually the shape of the pavilion, the colors will change. You see, now it will start to bloom because the people actually learn something, they engage, so the pavilion will start to bloom and it will change its look. This is a view from above, a simulation from above. That's how the pavilion can change throughout the day, from very gray to very beautiful, powerful, with a lot of flowers. What we will also have, of course, is a shop with typical Swiss souvenirs. We've talked about watches, maybe, pocket knives, chocolate. Apparently, people would like to buy Swiss cheese, Swiss wine, maybe. We will have a small shop in the pavilion. Now, what I would like to show you a little bit more in detail. Here, this is going to be an interesting house because the people will be invited to sit down. And there's these cooking shows on TV, and we will do something like a cooking show. There will be a Swiss chef, typical Swiss dress, and he will prepare a very traditional Swiss dish, rösti.
Rösti is a Swiss dish consisting mainly of potatoes in the style of a fritter. It was originally a breakfast dish commonly eaten by farmers. Many Swiss people consider rösti to be a national dish. It is more commonly served to accompany other dishes.
During the cooking show, he will ask questions, you know. What do you think uses more energy, if I buy the potatoes locally or if I import them from South America? Then then we will be looking at the stove. There's different type of stoves. Some are energy efficient, some lose a lot of energy, etc., etc. Along the cooking show, he will ask questions, so the people will actually learn in their daily life how they can save energy. And in the end, they will be served a small piece of rösti. Efficiency house, how we call it. And this will be also a very beautiful house. It will be like a mountain cabin in the Swiss mountains. When you go for a hike, you have these cabins, you know, with typical decoration. There's a wooden table, there's wooden benches, there's some equipment we will put that we need to go on a hike. And once they sit in this house, out through the windows, they will actually see how the sun rises and the beautiful mountain panorama. So here we will also promote Switzerland as a tourist destination.
Some of these houses will be autonomous. They will generate the necessary energy on their own. Entrance to these houses will be free for all the visitors.
So they will enter from here, they will walk through the pavilion. Maybe they're interested in visiting this mountain cabin, maybe they're interested in the cooking show. They can take some time and then they will leave the pavilion here.
Switzerland is the #1 country in the global innovation and competitiveness rankings. The country spends 3% of its national GDP, or $16 billion on research and development.
Energy is a very important topic for us. We do produce 60% of our energy needs with a sustainable resource. It's water energy, but we also have atomic energy. And we have decided after the catastrophe in Japan that we actually want to leave the atomic energy production. And currently we're very busy, and there's a lot of discussions going on what we can replace this energy with. We don't want to stop all the production in Switzerland and then import this kind of energy from France. That can't be the solution. So currently we're very busy with looking into reducing the consumption of energy. We're looking into increasing energy efficiency, and we're also testing sustainable energy production such as solar cells.
Switzerland is also home to some of the world's leading universities, especially those focusing on fundamental and applied research. The education system is dual, which ties academia closely with the industries. These universities work with a lot of innovative solutions.
We have a few Swiss companies, startups, universities that are producing solar cells, special types of solar cells that you will actually find in the Swiss pavilion. For example, a solar cell that is not black, like the ones you usually see on the houses or in the fields, but it's white. You can even draw on it and it still produces energy.
The recently established Swiss company Glass2 Energy will present an interesting technology of dye-synthesized solar cells. The technology is often referred to as artificial photosynthesis, where synthesized dye absorbs light and generates excited electrons. The energy production costs of these cells can be significantly below the grid parity and are competitive on the market of all cells that are produced today.
We really put a focus on startups. We have made a call for projects well before starting to plan the Swiss Pavilion. So there are these companies like CSCM or Glass to Energy, which will present their special types of solar cells. We have other companies with permanent or temporary exhibitions at the Swiss Pavilion, like the world famous ABB, for example. They will be present with their own exhibition. They will talk about energy production, turbines. We have another company that is not directly linked to the energy topic. It is Sigpa. It's a Swiss company. They're producing security ink which is used to produce all the bank bills worldwide.
The Kazakh currency tenge is produced using up to 90% of Swiss products. The company Sigpa is the supplier of the ink and printing technology, and the Swiss company KBA Notices is a supplier of the printing equipment for Kazakhstan's national mint.
This ink can also be used as security ink as a marker, to mark a product in order for the consumers to be able to trace its origin. Like oil, petrol exported from Kazakhstan to another country can actually be marked with this ink, so we can trace it back. That's a company which will be permanently showcasing its products and services at the Swiss Pavilion.
The Swiss Pavilion will also offer the visiting families an opportunity to play interactive games where the guests will learn valuable information about energy consumption and conservation.
Let's say there's a Kazakh family visiting the Swiss Pavilion. They have learned a lot of things, and in the end, before they leave, they can actually be playing. Half of the family can be energy consumers, the other half is energy producer, and they will have to find out together how they can bring both things in balance.
Switzerland has the highest number of patents and Nobel Prizes per capita. And here is how the Swiss Expo Commissioner explained why the country is home to such a large number of innovators and accomplished scientists.
We have always been a country with people that think, with country that we are innovation world champion. Year after year, we have a lot of patents, the biggest number of patents per inhabitant, for example. We're a country that doesn't have any natural resources. So somehow we need to invent our lives, and we need to be clever in order to be able to pay for our living.
The Swiss innovativeness is perhaps mostly reflected in their watchmaking.
It's quite an interesting story, actually. In winter, the farmers, they couldn't work on their fields because there was snow in the hills of Switzerland, in the mountains of Switzerland, there's snow. So they were sitting at home, not having anything to do. So they actually, the small watch manufacturing plants, they sent material in fall, they sent material to the farmers, which they worked into watch movements during winter time. And in spring, these small companies, they went and collected the material and made it into watches.
While Switzerland still dominates the watchmaking industry globally, its supremacy is becoming more and more challenged by new technologies.
Technology has a big influence. Everybody's talking about smartwatches. Apple producing a watch. People are saying that it will kill the watch industry completely. We have seen the sector is not growing as it used to grow. We sold thousands, if not millions, of watches to China, for example. This growth is not really there anymore.
An interesting fact is that the Swiss manufacturers have in total sold watches worth 18 million Swiss francs in Kazakhstan.
We used to receive one watch for our whole life. Typically, when we had our confirmation in church at the age of 16, you become a young adult, and the parents give you a wonderful watch and you keep it until you die. And that was the only watch you would ever have possessed. And now it has completely changed. It has become an accessory, a fashion item. There's watch, there's the expensive mechanical watches. Everything has changed. But we cannot sit and rest and say, yeah, we're successful. We need to go with the time. We need to closely look at what is happening with the smartwatches and see if we want to be active in this sector, or if we want to say it will just be a short-term success, the smartwatch, and we focus on the technology we actually know.
The Expo Commissioner is excitedly awaiting the cultural program that will be presented at the pavilion. He was quite impressed by the cultural program presented at Kazakhstan's pavilion during the Expo in Milan.
This is a big challenge for us, knowing that the Kazakh, I'm so impressed by the way Kazakhs practice culture. I have attended a gala dinner hosted by Expo. Yesterday I have attended the dinner, and there's music everywhere. There's music, there's dancing, there's singing, there's instrument playing, so it will be very tough for the Swiss people who are a bit more taken back or modest maybe, to compete. Like I remember at the Kazakh pavilion at the Expo in Milano, there was constantly a cultural program. Every time somebody was singing, we have some ideas. We have the Swiss piano trio, which is hoping to make to be able to make a short tour through Kazakhstan. They're looking into finding local partners for their concerts. We have another interesting project, recently discovered opera by Donizetti. He's a famous Italian composer, and this opera has kind of been lost for a long time. It was discovered again, and this opera plays in Switzerland. So we are thinking of bringing over 6 Swiss soloists and typical Swiss instruments like the alphorn, and add to this Kazakh orchestra, and play the opera as well in the Expo as also in the Opera House.
Switzerland will have its National Day on August 11th. The president of the Swiss Confederation, Doris Leuthard, will pay a visit to Astana to celebrate this symbolic date.
Her participation, that's interesting because she's not only president of the Swiss Confederation this year, but she's also energy minister, so this will be quite interesting for her to come here, see other pavilions, meet Kazakh counterparts. There will be a cultural program, of course, so the 11th of August will be a very important day.
I do believe that Switzerland is well known in Kazakhstan, but Switzerland is often just seen as the country where you have good chocolate, a country of excellent and expensive watches, and a beautiful country, and a country where there are many banks. But we would like to show a broader picture of Switzerland. Switzerland is also a very young and a very dynamic and a very innovative country.
Switzerland is Kazakhstan's 3rd largest foreign investor. The Swiss ambassador believes Expo will further strengthen the ties between the two nations.
Swiss Pavilion will showcase what are solutions that Switzerland has developed, or in what field Switzerland is active on the issue of future energy. But on the other hand, the Swiss Pavilion, we offer the Swiss Pavilion also as an instrument for Swiss companies, but also Swiss researchers to engage with the public in Kazakhstan. If I talk of events, then I think of all kinds of events. You know, this can be a group of experts discussing, this can be a seminar, a workshop, this can be conferences and meetings of different size. And that is where I see a very great potential to that also after the closure of the Expo, this kind of contacts will continue. So we will have a closer cooperation between universities and institutions dealing with environment or energy in Switzerland with institutions here in Kazakhstan. We share a lot of common challenges, and we are working all together to overcome those challenges and find solutions to problems that we all face in modern society and in these times. I think it is a great opportunity for the Kazakh people to know more about Switzerland. It gives also an opportunity for people in Switzerland to better know Kazakhstan.